We are live. We are absolutely direct with Crystal Gollwitzer, who is a sales coach helping coaches to increase their close rates and really sell with purpose and sell with power. She has done over 1,000 discovery calls, reviewed them. She helps people to close for between 30 to 50% in their conversion rate. And most importantly, she helps the power of discovery with better questions, better alignment, and helping people take better decisions. Discovery, alignment, decisions, the client conversion methodology, increasing sales call conversion rates without scripts, pressure, or awkward tactics. She leads, she sells, so who better to contact than Crystal to give us crystal clarity today? She leads, she sells, and let's go speak to me.
Amazing. Hi, Jay. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Why sales? Like, isn't that meant to be a bro thing for us
Oh,
bro marketers? I mean, like, why are you in bro marketer territory?
it really is. And it's funny. I tried to get out of it years ago. I've been in sales pretty much my whole career. Tried to get out of it. Tried to move into coaching, and found myself right back into sales. And really, like, truly did try to find a different path. But you know what? Fate. It's destiny. I'm supposed to be here and doing this kind of role. And I've really just over the years really learned to love sales, and which is so opposite from how I used to feel when I first got into it. So I went from really not wanting to be in sales, not liking the feeling of it, having all of that ickiness over so many years, and really just started to reframe my own mindset and thoughts around sales, and it's changed everything for me.
Beautiful. The two books that have really helped create my sales methodology, the whiteboard methodology, is these two books. Challenge Your Sale, really leaning into the fact that unique insights is the thing that sales prospects that are quite skeptical and quite sophisticated.
I
Second
love
book,
that.
10x is easier than
Yes.
2x, meaning in the sales process, if we can create 10x value in the sales process, then we'll automatically hit 2x. Most people are providing zero value.
I
Most
love that.
scripts.
Yeah. I love that. Here, I'll share one with you.
Yeah,
So this is one of my
book for book.
favorites.
Oh, joyful
Right.
selling. Wow.
Yep, by Michelle Rockwood.
Wait,
Um,
hold that up. I want to screenshot that, my sister.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is what I'm talking about. Joyful selling. Yeah, that's good. The reason why I like that is that there's the element of energetic characters, and I've got the characters starting from Fearful Fiona, who is just like under, sort of kind of, oh, my coach did this, da, 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 to Servant Susie, who does a good job, but she's undercharging, to
Yes.
Joyful Juliet. Joyful Juliet is a carnival. This is what they do, right? And they enjoy it. And the top level is Limitless Lara. Limitless Lara doesn't buy I haven't got the money, $5 trillion in the US economy. Haven't got the time. Show me your phone. 4 hours a day on your cellular phone. So that's Joyful Selling. Any other books? That's a good one. I've never heard of that book, actually. Joyful Selling.
Yeah, yeah. It's really it was very it's based on it's a lot of the premise that I actually created my own methodologies with, which
Mm.
is learning how to sell without scripts. Because a lot of
Mm.
times, so when I first entered the high ticket coaching space, I was introduced to a script, and I remember looking at it, and it would be 17 pages, and you just read it. We were over the phone and we would just read it. And as you know, over the years, online selling has moved from over the phone to being in Zoom. And quite honestly, I remember I was in a bit of a slump, and I was like, you know what? Put me on Zoom with these people, make them say no to my face. You know? And I realized in that moment, in order to do that, you have to be so confident and just
Do.
having a very present conversation and not relying on a script. And so that's when I really started to dive into, well, how do I create a framework, something I can actually remember while on the call, but not be on a Zoom call and look like I'm reading? Because if you look like you're reading, that is the biggest and first way you're going to lose credibility, and they're going to question your authority and all of the things. So that's where, I'm a huge fan of frameworks and just memorizing the framework so that the flow of the call can keep going and you can keep going deeper and stay on track and get your prospects to where you need them to be in order to say yes to themselves.
Amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Marketing is more important than sales. Discuss.
Oh, that is a good one. So I'm actually going to be presenting tomorrow to a group of 45 coaches
Oh, wow.
that I'm going to be able to do through my marketing guy. And what's so interesting is that so now he's gotten them all these leads, but he said now they don't know how to convert them. So if you think about it, marketing without sales knowledge and conversion is a very expensive problem to
Come
have,
on.
right?
Come on, sister. Crystal
So
clarity. Come on.
right. So you could if you've got leads coming in, you could keep multiplying those leads all day long, but if you can't convert them,
Mm,
what's the point? So
mm.
so yeah, they really do go hand in hand. I'm not a marketing expert, and so I tend to partner with people in marketing to let kind of I feel like marketing is its own beast. It's very dynamic. It changes, gosh, with the wind, right? And so I kind of leave the marketing up to the marketing experts and let them figure out which direction the wind is going. And I really tend to focus on being present and using my coaching skills to be able to get the best results to really come out of a conversation feeling like I was in complete service and that they made a decision to say yes to themselves, but without me having to pressure them or use sales tactics, which I've gone through. I mean, I've done all the trainings. I've done Cole Gordon's training, Jeremy Miner's, Russ Ruffino, Alex Hermosi. I've done them all. And I still do feel, to your point, there's a little bit of the bro marketing, the bro sales when it comes especially to objection handling. And so I spent so much time trying to figure out how to handle objections better. And when I finally, and I was like, I mean, I'm figuring it out. There's nothing wrong with that. But I started focusing more on discovery and the pitch and figured out the better I got at that, the less objections I was getting. At one point, I remember saying it was my biggest month ever. And I remember saying, gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to remember how to handle objection because I just haven't had any.
Look at this. Look
Yeah.
at this. Amazing when two sales professionals lock in. This is it. This is what happens. Sparks fly. So what types of marketing experts do you connect with? How did you get in front of 40 coaches?
So right now, I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Ben Allister, um, and I think his program is called the Coach Creator. And I'll be honest, I've done discovery calls with a lot of marketing people, and being in sales, it takes a lot for me to say yes. So, and with him, it just felt really genuine, really authentic, and I loved his energy. And so, for me, it was like this easy yes to him. And so when he asked me, like, "Well, what made you say yes?" And I'm like, "Well, because I normally say no." So
100%.
but yeah, so he works specifically with coaches, and so I'd like to consider myself a pretty strategic person when it comes to running a business, growing a business. And
Mm.
so instead of doing things like cold outreach, I really start to think about, well, where is my ideal client hanging out? What are they doing? What do they need? Right? And I know marketing is just like I said, it's its own beast. And so I thought, all right, if I could find someone that focuses on marketing for just coaches, I just put myself in a community with my ideal client.
What woman you are. You think very strategically. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, I mean, just within a week of working with him, he said, "Hey, do you want to lead my next group coaching call?" Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So,
Amazing.
doing things like that, getting myself in, for me, with the coaching industry, I see this happen all the time where they're a coach, but they're treating it as a side hustle and they're having to keep their 9 to 5 job. And I've been there. I spent over 20 years in corporate sales. And I wanted to leave that environment. I wanted to get away from it, but I see all the time coaches not being able to leave because of either sales or marketing. And so the more people, and and honestly, I've learned from the best. Like I said, Cole Gordon, Jeremy Minor, Russ, Alex Ramosa, all of them, they're amazing, amazing men. And I've been really blessed to be able to go through their trainings and be coached by their team, but they're expensive, right? And for coaches who are just starting off, they don't have 10, 13, $15,000 to throw at their coaching company. And so for me, I was like, well, how do I bridge that gap and allow more coaches to be able to leave their 9 to 5 jobs, step fully into coaching? Because ultimately, I know at the end of that, if I can help them convert more sales, I'm making a bigger impact in the community and the world. Because if anybody's ever experienced coaching or having a breakthrough through coaching, they know how powerful it is. And I want everybody to be able to experience that. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to bridge the gap between, me and the Alex Hermosis of the world.
Amazing. How are you bridging? How are you helping coaches to quit their jobs? Give us a couple of examples of how they were here, now they are here, in terms of
Yeah.
people quitting their job.
So for me, my ideal client is really in the beginning of their coaching career. So I'm really looking at people that are just starting to probably, within the first like few years of their coaching business, who want to be able to leave the full-time job and really step fully into this. And I know the work that I've had to put into learning how to do this. And I also know what it felt like to have to it's really a different skill set, right? Because I came out with my coaching certification, I knew how to coach, and that was great. But then I was like, oh shit, I gotta learn how to sell too. And I was like, well, isn't that interesting? I spent 20 years in sales trying to get and got out of it so that I could coach. And yet here I am figuring out, oh wait, there's at the end of the day, there's no business in this world that exists without sales. So
100%.
so yeah, so I focus mostly on those people so that they can step fully into their purpose and impact as many people as they possibly can.
Amazing. 4 points, the 4 elements of what makes the perfect sales call. I'm going to go first here just to kind of,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to let you go here. And this is based on speaking with 300 women over the last year, compiling this book, like the whiteboard method. Number one, people being seen and heard. I think that's the most important ingredient in this
Yeah.
world of pitching and cold outreach. Seen and heard, that gets you in the door. Next, personalized insights. Why? ChatGPT can create any presentation for you. Doesn't mean you're an expert. And then if people are seen and heard and there's personalized insight, that automatically increases the cost of inaction of not working with the professional. And also they have to see the cost of inaction. And the final element is a risk reduction. And I find if you give somebody a result in advance, that's the risk reduction that makes them see, I don't got to start with Crystal. I've already gained the insights from Crystal, so I'm continuing, not starting, which is less risky. That's what I've boiled it down to over the last year.
I love that. Jay, I'm definitely going to be reading that book because that is
Amazing.
really, really good. It's brilliant, actually.
Amazing. What surprised you there in those 4 steps? What surprised you? Was it the seen and heard part at the start?
I think for me, it was actually the risk reduction because a lot of time, and specifically with coaches, there's not a tangible ROI on coaching, right? So the risk reduction is so important to focus on because you're not going to be able to measure it like you would a product or something tangible. And that risk reduction, and also, giving them the breakthrough, giving them a tiny bit of a win that they're going to be able to take away from that call without solving it for them on the call. Right? I love
Yeah, I
that.
mean, I look at it in the sense of, hey, if I solve one problem, there's always going to be problem 2, 3, 4, 5. And I guess if you do one thing competently, then the expectation that you could do 2, 3, and 4 is, very, very, very powerful. And I know in The Prosperous Coach, I know Hardison speaks about coaching cannot be described, it can only be experienced. And so
Yeah,
once we give that experience, women lie, men definitely lie, but an experience never ever lies. It's what we're
so
experiencing,
true.
right?
That's so true. Yeah, that's the power of coaching right there. I love that. I love that.
100%. What's your four-step process? What are the 4 ingredients that you would sprinkle in?
Yeah, so first, discovery
Yes,
is going deep enough into discovery to really understand the cost at what is at stake, kind of understanding that risk reduction.
yes,
The alignment, which is, the pitch. It's how your offer connects to their problem. Um, from there, then there's always the objection handling, because that's one of the things that coaches say the most. Oh, I just need to be better at objection handling. It's like actually it comes so far before that. And then actually helping them make a decision, because I see this happen all the time. And I mean, thousands of call reviews. It's like I can give them the framework for objection handling, but then they get stuck there. And it's like you got to move them forward into making an actual decision. Like I don't care if it's no on the call, get them to make a decision, right? I've been tracking this statistic for many years, but the statistics that I have on this is that if they get off that first call with you and they haven't made a decision, 85% or higher, it's a no.
okay,
And
fair enough.
so getting that decision right then and there is
Are you
so
one for the
important.
2 call close or what? Like 2 call close or 1 call close?
I will say, so with me and my team, I had the highest 2 call close rate.
Mm,
However, it's still pretty low. Now we're talking high ticket coaching. So,
yeah,
you're looking at 7, 8, 10, $15,000. When we're talking that high, it is a little bit harder for people to make that decision on the spot. Sometimes we have to get resourceful, right? And the money's not coming from one card or one place. So
yeah.
it can oftentimes result in a 2 call close. So I'm not against it. But I also have been tracking the numbers and the statistics for many years and know that just the chances of a 2 call close decrease pretty significantly.
Okay. What? Sorry, this is interesting because so are you saying that a 1 call close would be more successful than a 2 call close?
In my experience, it has been.
Really? Okay. No, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Because I guess from my experience, doing a 2 call close just creates the sort of safety in terms of, hey, look, the second call is the investment call. Injecting in the homework videos as well after call number 1 kind of aligns in terms of Google. Google 11, 7, 4, 11
Yeah.
different touch points, 7 hours of content,
Yep.
four
Yep.
different places. So yeah, it's interesting in terms of high ticket, what
Yeah.
works. But I guess, yeah,
I wonder if it's because so much of my experience does come from more like paid ads
I see.
versus organic. And so
Oh, wow.
that could definitely be a difference, because I would absolutely say, yeah. I mean, if when you're doing warm and cold outreach, it is all about relationship building, right? And there are going to be some connections that have to be made first. And then it does actually make the close a lot easier. I know I've worked with a lot of 7-figure coaches that do have the capital to be able to invest into paid ads.
Yeah.
And so I think when it does come to paid ads, you are getting the leads colder
Yeah.
than
100% agree.
normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's really interesting. We could probably have a whole separate conversation on that.
No, I mean, that would be a podcast in itself. I think that
Yeah.
that distinction, which is cool. Let them know how they can get in contact with you and who you are serving.
Yeah. Oh, can you still see me?
Yes, I can see you. Yes. Can you see me?
Yep, my screen looks like, hold on a second. Okay. How's that? A bit of a difference.
Yes. I like
So
that affirmative action. Yeah.
Look, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't see you suddenly. Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Crystal Gollwitzer. I also have a new website up and running, crystalgollwitzer.com. So Crystal, CrystalGollwitzer.com. I welcome anybody to, even if they just want to have a conversation. Like I prefer to work with, people that I can have a connection with, and really focusing on the ideal client. And just having that relationship first just makes it even more fun to work together. So yeah, that's how you reach me.
Amazing. She has been live and direct here. Mrs. Gollwitzer giving us the prize like the Pulitzer. We have been live. We are direct. She leads, she sells, and we are out.